The following program is produced by the Tech Talk Radio Network.
Hi, this is Colin Mockery of Whose Line Is It Anyway? You're listening to Tech Talk Radio. I don't know how it works. It's all magical stuff to me.
Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd.
And I'm Justin Lemme. Welcome.
And look at that. We got Justin back. You've been gone for a while. How you doing?
Dude, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Yeah?
I've been busy, man. I've been busy with work. And then, as I was mentioning in pre-show, man, I'm getting old, man. I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed by the time you guys start recording. But now that we're on daylight savings time, you know, it actually helps me because I'm like, hey, I can do this now. But no, go to bed.
You know the number of times that I've missed the show because I've fallen asleep with my kids?
Oh, yeah, it's happened.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it happens.
It happened one time when it was just you and me. I was sitting here.
Correct. Where is he?
Yeah. Where is he?
Yeah. I've actually fallen asleep at the microphone. When I was working at KLPX, I fell asleep at the microphone.
I think I remember hearing about that. That was we got quite a bit of fodder for that one. That was good. Yeah. You hear about that overnight guy? Yeah.
Jonas had to call in, and I was like answering the phone, and I'm like, he's like, first off, like, why are you calling me so late? And you're like, why are you sleeping? You're supposed to be on the air.
One of the many stations that I work at or have worked at, I'll say it that way. One day I was driving in to record, not this show, another show, and I noticed that the top of the hour came by, and I didn't hear the DJ on the air. As a matter of fact, it was 20 minutes in my drive. I'd never heard the DJ once, and there were certain parts that DJ had to do. So I called the boss, and apparently she had forgot to come in, and her shift was at 2. This was at 4.
Oh, my gosh. Well, wait.
They didn't realize it for 2 hours.
The computer systems nowadays, do they just keep on just going right by it?
Yeah. Radio automation is interesting because if you're in the studio, and like this show that we do here, and of course my show that I do in the afternoon and throughout the day, we have live DJs. They're in there, and you know, yes, you could say, all right, I wanted to play the next 3 songs without having to interact with them, but generally you just play each one. I mean, we're there live, and it's rare these days, unless it's a morning show. When I was working for one of the big network groups, I could say Westwood One, I was on 70 stations, and this is while I was working here as well. 70 stations. I go home and I would record, and the thing is, you'd record 2 hours ahead. But if something happened in that radio town, you know, whether it was in Florida or
breaking news,
I was in Pittsburgh, I was in DC, I was in everywhere. But if something happened, what am I going to do? There's nothing. Everything had to be recorded an hour ahead of time.
That's the one thing I never understood about canning. Like, okay, I understand, radio stations, they want to save money. A lot of it is canned. Now, when I say canned, I mean like pre-recorded. But the thing is if you go back in history, radio DJs are technically, I mean, they started out as journalists. I mean, they were there to provide you news and entertainment. And radio used to be just simply news.
When I was in broadcasting school, we had to go rip the news off the teletype. They actually had a teletype, and it would give you news, the biggest news stories, and then you would always have to do the news at the top of the hour.
How was it back in the Old West?
Are you making a reference to my age, young man?
Maybe just a little bit. No, but I mean, seriously, if you think about it, this is what they were designed to do. They weren't designed to just simply do like music. They were, radio DJs were there to one, run the station, make sure that you take your meter readings and make sure the towers and all
the lights are on.
I mean, everything's the lights are on and the towers are broadcasting at the right frequency and the right wattage. You're there to provide news, you provide entertainment, and then music in between. And then eventually just kind of got less and less news and more entertainment, radio,
more and more music, commercials,
more and more commercials. And then everything became automated. So then you didn't have to take your readings anymore. Everything was automatically logged by a computer. And then it just got to eventually where it's like, oh, we don't even need DJs anymore. And now some radio stations are even using AI DJs.
Let's face it, guys, it's getting really good. Some of the stuff they're able to do is pretty amazing. And one of the big worries that some radio people that I know have is that you think about all the audio we've recorded over the years. That's an audio print. It's you.
Yeah.
that could be manipulated now using AI to say the time, the weather, the song that was just played, the song that's being played. AI is scary not only for radio but also for television. It's gotten so good that at some point those that are delivering the news on TV have to be concerned.
But have you also heard about, and this is starting to make kind of waves in the tech industry, is this thing that they're calling the AI bubble. They're talking about this as if this is going to be another one of the .com busts, back from the 2000s, when everybody was all in on the internet and the internet was the big thing. And then all of a sudden, boom, everything just failed. And all these companies are putting so much money into AI, OpenAI getting like a $500 billion investment from like NVIDIA and then blah, 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 blah. People are saying this is a bubble.
Yeah.
Like it's going to fail. And I kind of think that's the way. I think the hype has just gotten too big and AI is really not going to do what everybody thinks it's going to do. Now, yes, granted, maybe in, I don't know, 5, 10, 20 years. Yeah, maybe we'll all be redundant. But I think right now, I think it's a bubble.
Yeah, I think people are going to get burned. Well, if they're not already burned out, because every time you turn around, AI. Yeah. Somebody wrote on, and I'm going to just say, I saw this on Nextdoor, and it was AI with a round circle and a slash through it, And so I went ahead and asked. I said, just wondering what facet of AI do you dislike the most? And the person who responded said, everything. I dislike how it's incorporated into every app now. I dislike how many people were fired. Let's face it, that's happened because they were replaced by AI. I dislike how people normalizing it when it shouldn't. I dislike
it's coming for toys. Right? We talked about this a couple months ago, right? Hasbro is looking at putting AI in toys.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't sit right for me. We talked about this a couple months ago. There was an article that came out that said Hasbro is looking at incorporating AI into toys.
Right.
For what reason?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
My frustration with AI is you are sucking the creativity and the artistic vision out of the human soul. And when you start taking that away from people, what's left? And if kids are now just they're going to be entertained by AI, why do they need to be creative anymore?
That's a good
Why
point.
why do they need to think anymore?
This is exactly what I was having a conversation with my family about. This is that, with AI, we weren't centered on the AI aspect of it, but we were more centered on the creativity portion of childhood. And Eric is constantly like, I'm bored. And I saw a post, I don't remember it was Reddit or Facebook or whatever, but it was like talking about it's like, it's okay to be bored. Children should be bored because that's what sparks creativity. That's what makes them go, what can I make? What can I do? And if they have a screen in front of them the whole time, it's never going to spark that creativity. It's going to just give that dopamine hit. And then that's it. And so now then they're going to be addicted to the dopamine hit, which is the screen.
My also concern is reading. Let's face it, there's stories that kids aren't reading as much as they used to. Teachers will say that as well. And now we're finding books that will read to them. Now, they're reading along, but I don't know. That makes me nervous as well. You want your kids to learn the words and learn how that sentence is going and read. And now it's just reading it to them. And
I mean, just think of even just from the safeguards you have to put into place. So let's say this children's toy has AI in it. Does it connect to the cloud? Is it learning?
Oh, it's going to have to connect to the cloud.
Right. So it's we all know that everybody has a recording device in their phone, in their pocket with their phones. It's always listening. Your TV's listening. Your whatever. But now just add in all these other kids' toys in kids' spaces, listening to what your kids are doing, listening to what. It just freaks me out.
I'm starting to see TV commercials where, and I think we're becoming a little more attuned to what artificial intelligence is in the media. And I'm seeing TV commercials where they'll cut to a shot of a couple sitting around a table. I could tell right away, oh, that's AI. You know,
Well,
the
did
filmmaking.
Did you see Coca-Cola release their new AI-generated holiday commercial?
Oh,
No, are you
God.
kidding
They
me?
did it again. So last year, last year they did it, and it was really bad. You could really tell. This year's is not any better. The animals look awful. The backgrounds look awful. The ending is awful. The whole thing is just awful. One of the other frustrating things I have about AI is everybody thinks AI is just going to make everything cheaper, cheaper and easier.
Yeah.
But you sacrifice a lot of quality. You sacrifice a lot for that. Like, and it's getting to the point where it's what is becoming acceptable to the viewer.
I just watched that Coca-Cola ad.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't know, man. It feels Coca-Cola. I watched it and I can tell certain aspects of it are AI, but the thing about Coca-Cola ads, especially the holiday ads, they've done CGI for so many years. This doesn't feel that different than their normal CGI ads.
It's just pushing the boundaries of that uncanny valley where it's just, the polar bears are animated, right?
Right.
That's just a fundamental fact. But this just pushes it to another level with some of the other animals they put in there, the transitions, the snow, the driving. If you look at the shot at the end with the semis, it plows over some people. Like,
what?
Just watch the end. Watch the end again.
Okay, I didn't watch the end.
Watch the end and tell me that semi does not run over people.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm watching the end right now.
Just watch the end and tell me it does not plow over people at the end.
All right. Oh my gosh. All right. This is.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, dude. It's and the shot.
Okay,
the wide shot of the crowd.
We just witnessed AI murder.
All of the people in the last wide shot,
right?
Are their legs are moving funny. Their arms are moving funny.
It used to be it was the fingers, right? Now it's the way they move. It's probably up on YouTube, or will they take it down? Will Coca-Cola say no? Wait a minute.
The official Coca-Cola channel on YouTube, and just look for the one that's called Coca-Cola Holidays Are Coming.
Oh boy! So we're a subject of media, and I would love to hear from you, our listeners. You're listening to this. You're thinking, guys, I'm tired of it too. Let us know. I want to get your thoughts, or if you do use it. I've had fun with it. Like Sora is a part of ChatGPT, which I use ChatGPT. It was weird because the other day I needed a graphic, and I wanted a video graphic, a moving video graphic, for a news story that was on Fox 11, and I thought, well, why don't I try and see if it used to be it was baked right into ChatGPT, and I asked, all it would do was give me the stills, and I said, well, where's the video? And they said, oh, it's not incorporated anymore. And it basically lied to me, because it is with a ChatGPT account, OpenAI. It's just you have to access it a different way. Sora and then go to the full web link.
Okay.
And I thought, well, that's kind of weird. I found that out the next day when I was doing some research. Sora 2 is now going to be available on Android devices. So I found it. Now Sora is a part of my Android. And the other day, my grandson was over. He brought one of those. You remember those little horses that have the stick? They have the head, and then they have the stick that they run around with. So, of course, I asked Sora to put him on a horse with a picture ahead. And it did, and it was great. You couldn't have told. Yeah, I mean, it did not look AI generated. So, again, it's frustrating because now we're seeing so many tools coming out on so many different sites that do so many different things. You have to wonder, really, this is where we're going.
I wanted to get Justin's opinion on this, right? So with the Sora stuff, you mentioned the Sora, the video generator, right? Have you seen the stuff where Studio Ghibli is suing Sora
No.
because of the copyright infringement?
Not necessarily just Sora, but I do know that about 8-9 months ago, ChatGPT was in hot water with Studio Ghibli because people were basically taking photos and saying, make this in the style of Studio Ghibli. Mm-hmm. And I even have some photos of my family in the Studio Ghibli style.
I remember you did that.
And it does a very, very good job. Now, I don't know about the Sora aspect. So if you're listening to this and you're like, what is Sora? Sora is the video generating application built into ChatGPT. So it uses AI to generate video instead of just text or photos.
Yeah.
No, I have not heard about the video aspect of it.
So the Content Overseas Distribution Association, which represents a ton of Japanese anime, is basically written a very strongly worded letter to OpenAI and Sora saying, you got to stop using our stuff to train your models.
Yeah.
Because it's pumping out copyrighted content. So
Yeah.
All right.
that's the kind of stuff that is inevitable.
We're talking about media, so let's talk a little bit about something we've talked about for the last couple of weeks. Justin was out. Justin said, hey, I found this website, and this website is really cool. I would love to, give my thoughts on it. And, of course, that website, TV Garden. Justin, you finally got a chance to check it out, right?
Yeah, actually, I did. You guys were talking about it. I missed the last couple of shows, but no, I also check out TV Garden, and it's actually really cool. I mean, I like how you're presented with a map, colored map of the globe, and you just pick on the country, and then it lists what channels are available. I'm personally right now, as we're doing the show, I'm watching a Japanese news channel.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, and it's done via YouTube, so it's like a YouTube embedded channel, but it's streaming live. And yeah, I mean, there's like at least 30 channels from just Japan alone, not to mention the other countries. But yeah, TV.Garden is really cool.
So I will mention that Andy and I talked about this about 2 weeks ago. And when we watched it, it had every available ESPN channel.
Oh, really?
It does not anymore.
Oh.
So we're talking about TV.Garden, which is a great resource for finding local television and just really kind of niche TV stations around the world. But a lot of people this past weekend were really upset.
Yep.
Yeah.
Specifically Notre Dame football fans.
Mm-hmm.
So Notre Dame's game was on ESPN this past weekend. If you had YouTube TV, you lost access to ESPN the night before the football game.
Yep.
Oh,
and also Monday Night Football. I wanted to watch Monday Night Football last night because I like to watch the Peyton and Eli Manning cast on ESPN2. And they had Baker Mayfield, which is one of my favorite NFL players. I just like Baker. And he was on it, and I couldn't watch it because ESPN and Disney and YouTube are just having a spat. And the craziest part is I heard a story this morning, or maybe yesterday morning, talk about how Disney approached YouTube TV and said, look, actually Google, because that's the parent company. They said, look, we got elections. We got elections on Tuesday. We want our viewers to be able to know what's going on with the elections. Can you please just put our channels back on at least just for Tuesday, maybe Wednesday morning? And YouTube was like, nope.
Wow.
Yeah. And a lot of the driving for this decision was that ESPN launched their own complete content streaming application.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were just like I don't want to, like, what is happening with the streaming world right now? Like, it's worse than it was when cable was a thing. It's more expensive.
This is the thing that
It's more
everybody
frustrating.
mentioned in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's more confusing. It's more frustrating. It's more expensive.
I have been contemplating making the change to YouTube TV. And people are saying, no, wait, you might want to wait a little bit because you may not get all the channels you want. That's been my problem with the cable company. I'm spending $200 a month, and yet I really don't get everything I want.
Go back 7 months ago or 8 months ago, maybe a year ago, when my in-laws got YouTube TV. If we go back and listen to that episode, you should pull a clip from that episode.
Yeah.
Because it was like, they're going to save a ton of money because they're cutting cable. They're not using it. They're bundling it with the internet. It's going to be fantastic. They're paying $70 a month, whatever, for everything. It's like over $100 now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I pay like $125 just for YouTube
It's
TV.
insane.
Yeah.
And they're even going at it like, this was a good deal when we got it.
Yeah.
And now
That's how they do it. That's how they get you.
It stinks.
I kind of wonder
It's corporate greed.
if people decide, okay, I'm going to leave YouTube TV, then their options are, well, of course, the antenna and ATSC3 might change some of that for some people. But I'm thinking, okay, so maybe TV Garden. That's going to be the next place to fall down the rabbit hole with. I want to talk a little bit about this because I've never been and I want to go. Justin, you did take a little vacation. You made a trip to Aspen, Colorado. And
Yes, I did.
I've never been to Aspen. I've always thought that's where the celebrities skied. That's where, you went. I mean, is it really like a ski
Of course
town?
I'm going to go there. I'm a celebrity. Of course I'm going to go there.
Of course, yeah.
He's the voice of water.
Well, the voice of Waterworld.
And the co-host of Tech Talk Radio.
No, people
Thank
say,
you.
wait, Tech Talk Radio, what's that? Oh, Waterworld. Oh, my God. Can I have your autograph? So how was it?
It was interesting. We went up there on a Friday. And I expected, traffic was going to be bad. So from our house to Aspen is about 4.5 hours by car, because you got to take I-70 up into the mountains to Glenwood Springs, and then you drop south into Aspen,
Right.
and that's about an hour from Glenwood Springs. So I expected it. I was like, oh, okay, it says 4.5 hours. It's probably going to be more like 6, because of the traffic. There was no traffic. It was great. It was no traffic. The weather was beautiful. The colors. Everybody also said, oh, you missed all the fall colors. They're all gone. No, it was great. It was awesome. The colors were amazing. We got into Aspen on the afternoon of a Friday, and Misa and her friend wanted to go walk around and do some shopping. They wanted to go to some of the high-end stores. I mean, it really truly is. I mean, there's a lot of high-end stores there. Now, I got to say, though, I do think that when I went there, I kind of imagined Aspen as being more like a picturesque mountain town with like Rodeo Drive of LA with all the shops lined up. No, it's not. It truly feels like just a normal like mountain town. I mean, with just people living there. It doesn't feel like a rich escape, you know? There is one street that has a lot of the high-end shops, but there's also just a lot of regular shops mixed in too. So it was very interesting to be where we were at. And I was just kind of like, wow, it doesn't feel like a rich person's place. So me and the husband of Misa's friend, we walked around with the kids. We went out to lunch. We got some beers, and we met up with Misa then and her friend at I don't know what the name was called. It was a high-end leather store of some sort, like Italian leather, like bags and shoes and things like that. Anyway, she was looking at buying something there. And I was talking to the storekeeper, and I was like, oh, I bet you guys serve a lot of celebrities around. She's like, oh, yeah, all the time. She's like, as a matter of fact, if you were here just like a couple hours ago, Leo was in here.
Whoa.
And I was like, wait, Leo, I mean, you like Leo DiCaprio? And she's like, yeah, he was in here with his girlfriend. They were shopping. And I was like, wait, Leo's in town?
That's cool.
So yeah, that was really cool. And then, kind of fast forward, we went out to dinner. We had a good dinner. Walking back to our hotel, we had to walk across a large park. They called it a rugby pitch. I'm sure they probably play a lot of rugby up there. But anyway, walking across this rugby pitch, I really wasn't paying attention. And I'm approaching this black object in the middle of this rugby field. And I finally look up and I focus my eyes on it. And it is a black bear.
Oh, did you turn around?
A juvenile black bear. Now, I'm not talking about a baby, because a baby is the most dangerous, because that means mama's around.
Yeah.
This was a juvenile black bear just strolling through the park.
Wow.
And he just kept on walking. He walked right down the shopping street, and people were coming out of the shops, and they were like, oh my God, like screaming and running back in the shops, and they were locking the doors, and the bear was just like, doo, doo, doo,
yep.
doo, 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 doo. Like he was just walking around town, man. He was just chilling, having a good time.
That's cool.
And it was like the closest I'd ever come. I probably came within about, I want to say probably within about 50 yards of a black bear.
That's cool.
And I didn't even realize it.
That could have been bad, but it's good.
It could have been really bad. Yeah.
All right, we got to take a quick break. We come back. We talk more. We've got some great links. We've got a couple of listener questions and some news. And, of course, you had a problem with a laptop, which will play nicely to one of our questions as well. When we come back, I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd.
And I'm Justin Lemme. Find us on the web at TechtalkRadio.com. We'll be right back.
Now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
So y'all know that I have a smart home. I run Home Assistant, which is an open source, free smart home management software. And I've got a lot of smart home devices. You know,
Right.
I've got Zeus, I've got Lutron, I've got a little bit of Philips. I've got a lot of different things that operate different light switches, mostly light switches and light bulbs. But I've been yearning to just get back into the smart home thing because it's been a long time since I built my smart home, and it just kind of it does its thing. But I'm like, I just want to make it better. We even reached out at one point. This is a couple of years ago. We reached out to Reed's Smart Home, who's a YouTuber. He was actually going to come on the show. I just never followed up with him. I really need to reach back out to him. But anyway, there's this new thing that is really taking the smart home world by storm, and it's this little sensor, and it's called an ESP32. Now, this little microcontroller is the brains of the sensor. Now, you can build whatever kind of sensor you want, but this is the brains of it. So what you do is you plug this in to your Raspberry Pi or wherever you're running your Home Assistant. You set it up. Then you introduce the sensor that you want. Now, it could be a temperature humidity sensor. In my case, I bought 5 of these. What are they called here? Capacitive soil moisture sensors.
Oh,
now,
wow.
So what this does is I basically stick this sensor in a plant, a potted plant, with my ESP32 next to it. Now, I can run the ESP32 off of a small solar panel, or I can run it off a battery pack, or I can just find an outlet and plug it into. But anyway, you stick this capacitive soil sensor into a plant, and then you program the ESP32 to say, hey, when soil moisture reaches less than 20%, send me an alert. That tells me, hey, it's time to water the plants.
So you don't overwater, you don't underwater. It's like
Exactly. And then there's other sensors you can do. Like I said, you can do temperature, humidity. A lot of people do that. And if you try to buy like a temperature humidity sensor off of Amazon that's off the shelf, that basically is an ESP32 chip built in with a sensor, you're looking at spending 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks even on a single sensor. You can build an ESP32 with a temperature humidity sensor for a total of $14.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's great.
And so I've got these capacitive soil sensors. I've also got I got some millimeter wave sensors. Now, what that does, millimeter wave is a presence detection, but it's not like a true motion detector, because motion detectors, they'll read anything across the room. A cat 30 feet away walks across, boom, it triggers the motion sensor, your alarm goes off. No, you don't want that. A millimeter wave sensor uses millimeter waves, that's why it's called that, and it's very accurate, and it's very short range. So what I can do, for instance, is I put a millimeter wave sensor just around the corner of my stairwell leading up to the upstairs, just kind of out of view of anybody walking around the living room. But the moment that I cross that threshold onto the stairwell, that millimeter wave sensor says, hey, there's somebody here. And it sends a signal to Home Assistant, says, my sensor just went off. Now, Home Assistant says, okay, I've been programmed to say that when this millimeter wave sensor goes off, or on, excuse me, I'm supposed to turn on the stairway lights.
Wow.
And it does that.
Could this be used in a case, too? And I know you've dealt with this, unfortunately, flooding in a basement.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Now, not the ones I have here. The capacitive soil moisture will not work for that, but there are just straight moisture sensors that you can just simply lay on the floor. And I just, the one that I had with my flooding thing that I had a year ago, or a little bit over a year ago, I ended up buying a $250 sensor that also has an automatic shutoff. So, like, if it detects moisture on the ground, it will automatically shut off the hot water of the hot water heater, the tankless water heater. It'll shut off the supply line to that water heater. That was $250. Now that I look at this with an ESP32, I probably could have built that same thing with an actual physical device to turn off the valve.
Shut off.
I probably could have built that for about $80.
Wow, that's pretty good. I'd never heard of this technology. What is it again? It's called
ESP. Now, I don't know what ESP stands for. Maybe Sean has done some Google foo in the background.
Not, but I will.
ESP-32, and again, they are powered by USB. So I got the ones with the USB-C connector because it's just a little bit easier because everything's USB-C now. And they have pinouts, just like a GPIO. I don't know if you can see this on the screen. I'm trying to put it on here.
That's cool.
But yeah, little pinouts that you can then put into a breadboard to program it or put it into your own circuit. But now that I also have a 3D printer, I can print custom cases for these little sensors.
Oh, nice. That's good.
And then put them wherever I want.
Right.
So ESP just stands for Expressive Systems, which is the company that made them, and it's 32-bit. So ESP32, it's a 32-bit microcontroller. They came out in 2016, so they've been around for a long time. But just with IoT and just the world of that, you can just do so much more now. So there's tons more.
And
I mean, it's on the same line of like Arduino, other microcontrollers,
Arduino,
Raspberry Pis, etc. So if you're into those, this is going to be very familiar territory for you.
Well, first off, though, the ESP does not run an OS like Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi is much more powerful.
Yeah.
So the ESP runs a very basic, like a Python or a basic code like Python or something like that.
Right. So just to clarify, though, Raspberry Pi does make a Pi Zero, which is essentially an ESP.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, they do.
So there are versions of Raspberry Pi that are very similar to ESPs, but you can get full-fledged OS.
The Pi Zero even runs Linux. These ESPs cannot run Linux.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah. So they're even the Zero is a little bit more powerful than the ESP. But yes, Sean is correct. One other thing I can do with this is, I have an outdoor freezer. Garage freezer.
Yeah.
I can buy a temperature sensor, mount an ESP controller on the side of the freezer, and I can monitor the temperature of my freezer. So, and like, what happens? Like, oh my God, I left the freezer door open accidentally. I'll get an alert saying, hey, the temperature has risen in the outdoor freezer. Oh, shoot, I need to go close the door to the freezer.
Right.
Like, those are the kind of things you can do with this.
That is pretty cool. I like that. Where would somebody find this?
Amazon.
Nice.
Amazon, you could buy a 6-pack for $20.
Yep.
All right, cool.
I just bought a 5-pack for like $15. Yeah.
All right, we got a listener email in from Rick in Sahuarita. Rick says, hey, I'm wanting to get a new PC with Windows 11 for the house. A friend told me to build it myself, and I'm not that tech-oriented. Would that be too much of a challenge? I don't play games. I mainly use it to read news stories and check out videos on YouTube. Should I try it, or am I better off buying ready-to-go at Costco or Best Buy? If so, which is a brand to look at, Rick?
Rick, if all you do is to read news stories and check out videos on YouTube, you don't need to build a PC. Just go buy a Chromebook.
Really? A Chromebook?
Yeah. Or a relatively inexpensive bottom end of your budget laptop.
Dude, he's talking about using it to browse the web. He doesn't need to build a PC for that.
No.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Just
true.
Just get a Chromebook.
So on the topic of building computers.
Yeah.
Have you seen RAM prices recently?
No. Are they up or down?
So RAM prices have tripled in price over the last 3 to 4 weeks.
Tariffs?
No, it's the AI. It's all of the DDR5 RAM that's being eaten up for AI computing and all the.
I thought that was all GPU.
Oh, you still need RAM.
You still need RAM, yeah.
Well,
So, I mean, you just go and look at PC Part Picker, Newegg, and look at the trending prices for RAM, and you are going to see double, if not triple, in RAM prices.
There is a story, we talked about this, Sean, I don't know if you remember this, that people are ditching the desktop. You had that desktop, you had that tower. I think we all started with, you had that square one that sat. I had a laser 128, I think is what it was.
We had a Hewlett-Packard at home.
Yeah. And then you went to a tower.
Gateway.
Oh, the gateways, yeah. And then, but people are ditching them now to have a laptop. Because you can put a laptop in your desk if you want. Buy a monitor, attach another monitor. Or you buy the
station.
Yeah, buy a docking station and get 2 monitors on it. And they're saying that they're pretty happy with it because it does what they need it to do.
Yeah.
If you're going to game, though, I wouldn't do that for a gaming situation. No?
I don't know about that, dude. I got, that new HP Omen. I'm going to talk about my problem with that HP Omen, but that HP Omen's got a 5070 in it, an
That's
RTX
amazing.
5070 with 32 gigs of RAM, and I can run any game I want on that laptop.
And I've got an older Asus ROG that's got a 2080 in it, so a 2080 mobile in it, and that
Right.
was great for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Well, I got a 2080 Ti in my desktop that I'm doing the show with.
Right.
I don't play games on this computer anymore. I basically just play them on the laptop, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We play them on the laptop or our phones. I mean, that's the whole bit.
They're even saying that computer literacy is down
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, yeah.
with how little children interact with computers now. Like when I grew up and I had computer lab, like we had a lot of computers
Mavis
and we
Beacon
sat
typing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mavis Beacon typing, Mario racing typing. Like you were interacting with a computer on a day-to-day basis, typing, writing, whatever, internet, etc. Now everybody does it on their phones.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're getting into this newer generation of
Everything is
kids that are in their
spell correct.
spell the kids
check
that are
automatically.
into their teens that
Right.
don't know how to navigate an operating system on a computer. They don't know how to do keyboard shortcuts. They don't know how to do basic functions on a computer because they're always on a mobile or a tablet or another handheld device that has a completely different functioning operating system.
That's exactly what I went through when I was working back at Fox 5 in San Diego, being an IT person. We would get, remember the girl, the reporter girl that came in, and I was like, here's your laptop, and then here's your USB hotspot dongle. And she's like, USB? That was like a famous little story because she's like, USB? I don't know what USB is. And I was like, oh my God. Like, what? This is back in like 2012. It's even gotten worse.
Yeah.
But now I understand it. I was like, how can you be in the year of 2025 and not know how to use a computer? Shawn just perfectly summed it up right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're seeing it with some of my younger cousins or my friends that have kids that are 15, 16, 17 years old. It's bizarre how they just don't know how to navigate a computer.
And it's
They
just going
don't
to
know
get
how-
worse with AI.
Yeah, we have somebody new at the station, and she needed to get her laptop configured for our printer. So I said, well, just bring it on in, and we'll go through it. And it did not have any USB-A ports at all on it. It was everything was just 2 USB-C ports, and that was it. And that's the thing. When you're out buying a laptop, make sure you get what you're going to need. That's the thing. You just go, especially now we're coming up to Black Friday. We're going to see sales. Make sure it has everything you need.
So basically, don't buy an Apple. Apple, you don't get anything. You get one port, and then you have to get a dongle for everything.
I don't know.
Yeah, they've it's historically been that way. You can get some of their newer MacBooks do have a USB-A, an SD card slot, and 4 USB-Cs plus
Right.
plus an actual HDMI output.
All right, we're going to take another quick break. We come back with more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd.
And I'm Justin Lemme. Send us an X at Tech Talk Radio. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
So during the break, we talked a little bit about a segment that we want to talk about. This was posted on the IT Humor and Memes group on Facebook.
Love that group.
Between 1991 and 2009, so take a trip back
All right.
to the early days of the internet. What's the most memorable computer game you played in that time frame?
Oh, there were so many good ones.
So let's start with Justin. Justin, so between 1991 and 2009. So that's a pretty good chunk of time.
I mean, I see the list that you provided here.
These
and
are some
for
of the
me-
ones that were in their
Oh
group,
yeah,
right?
we populated our own list of games that we played at that time frame. And
Yeah.
remember, PC
What-
game, console games is a whole different category.
Yeah, it's true.
A lot of this stuff. Yeah, definitely PC games. I gotta say, my eyes move right to Wolfenstein 3D because that was one of the very first games I ever played. But my favorite, I have to say, my favorite was probably either Command and Conquer or The Sims.
The Sims was fun. My daughter still plays The Sims. She has Sims 4. I think they're up to now. I mean, or maybe even beyond that. She still has fun with it. That was a lot of fun to play.
I also did really like Roller Coaster Tycoon. But Sean, what for you? I think I know the answer. Can I say what I think the answer is going to be?
Absolutely.
World of Warcraft.
So I think this time frame is a little too unfair because it covers such a progression in the computer gaming world, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
91 to 2009, that's a long time. It's almost 2 decades.
Right.
So I have to break this up into, I think, 3 different games for this time period. I have to. Because there's...
Well, that's kind of what I did.
Just like you, I grew up getting PC Magazine with the discs and the demos and stuff. I still have it. It's a disc that is a demo disc for Apogee Games.
Oh, Apogee.
Yeah, Apogee.
Apogee was great.
They made some of the best shareware games that existed.
Yeah.
So did Sierra.
Back in the day. You had Wolfenstein 3D, which is a classic. But there's an Apogee game called Blake Stone Aliens of Gold. I still play that game to this day because it's on GOG. It's a sci-fi shooter. It's just fantastic.
First person or
it's a first-person shooter.
Really?
It's a very Doom. It's a very Doom Wolfenstein-esque, platformer. It's so good. Then Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction, probably the game I've spent the most time in my life playing. Then World of Warcraft, and then into some other games down the road. But those ones, the Blizzard games, Blizzard North. Those are.
What about you, Andy? I mean,
I think
you probably played a game or two back then.
I did. Doom was one of those that I played a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I loved Duke Nukem. Duke Nukem was just an absolute blast. But there's one. Okay, so I was looking over the list of some of the ones that people were mentioning, and Loom was on the list. But I don't remember Loom. I remember it was a big game, but I don't remember exactly what it did.
I don't remember Loom, but I'm actually a little bit offended that Leisure Suit Larry did not make this list.
Good old Leisure Suit Larry.
Larry?
Yeah.
Gary's mod,
Leisure Suit
Okay.
Larry. All right, so what have you got there, Sean?
Okay, so there's a couple that I missed for sure. So
All right.
I'm going to rattle off a couple in my seat. I have my actual install. Jet Fighter 2.
Oh, my gosh, look at that.
Oh my gosh!
I've got all of my. I've got. Oh my god! I've got so many.
What are those shiny discs?
Yeah, what are
called?
those things called?
So these are going to be some. These are a ton of. These are so many good memories. Jet Fighter, Super VGA Harrier, Knights of the Old Republic. This classic, Deer Hunter.
I remember Deer Hunter.
Oh,
I remember Deer Hunter.
The Medal of Honor games.
Yep.
Morrowind, Jet Fighter 2, Battlefield 1942.
Hey, can I borrow
Elder Scrolls,
Morrowind?
the original Diablo, I've got that in there too. Command and Conquers.
Yeah.
Age of Empires.
Wow. Well, it's great.
That's most of my PC childhood in there.
If you go to that group on Facebook, again, a great group, IT Humor and Memes, you can see what other people have said and maybe reminisce a little about some of the games that you played and had a good time with.
Speaking of video games, there is an anniversary edition of a famous video game, and it's actually, I'm just all about this series right now because of the TV show, second season coming out here next month. But it is Fallout 4.
Ooh.
Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition. Now, it has been over 10 years since Fallout 4 was released.
Right.
Over 10 years. I think I want to say 11 or even 12 actually right now. Comes out on November 10th. It bundles the base game. Yeah, Monday.
Right.
It bundles the base game with several expansions. Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition will be available digitally on the Xbox Series S, X, Xbox One, PC, PlayStation 5, and PlayStation 4. Wow. Now, I'm actually playing Fallout 4 again. So in the last few weeks, I guess maybe I probably started just when last time I was on the show here a few weeks ago, but I really got back into Fallout 76. Now, 76 is the MMO version of Fallout. It's online. You're playing with real people. But I've been playing Fallout 76 like mad. And then I wanted to get Eric. I wanted Eric to be able to play Fallout with me. So I signed up. I got him a copy of Fallout 76, and I put it on his computer, and we launched the game, and Bethesda, who's the maker of Fallout, The first message, as soon as he launched the game, it says, "We have detected this is a child account. He is not allowed to play this game."
Wow.
And I was like, wait, what? So I contacted Fallout. I contacted Bethesda support, and I said, look, I'm his parent. I am granting permission for him to play this game. And because, yes, there's blood and gore in it, but it's kind of like a cartoonish blood and gore. It's not like super realistic. So I was like, I allow this. And they're like, okay, well, you got to fill out this legal document. They sent me a legal document that I had to fill out, sign, scan, and then email back to them. And then they were like, okay, we'll go ahead and process this. And then, boom, you're good. Nope. Even after I said that, Bethesda was like, no, we are not allowing your child to play unless he's 13 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, okay, then give me the reason why. I have already provided you parental consent. And they said, we don't care about parental consent. It's because the reason that why is because it has online chat. There's voice chat.
Oh, okay.
And there's no text chat, but there's voice chat in the game.
Right.
And they cannot control the voice chat because they don't have moderation aspects built in.
Some of the safeties now, they're let's face it, there are a lot of people out there that are going to prey on kids.
Yeah, and I get that. And that's why I don't allow him to play Roblox. So then I said, okay, fine. He was really upset. He's like, I just want to play Fallout with you. So what I did was I installed Fallout 4, which is a single-player game. There's no multiplayer aspect. Single-player game. I installed Fallout 4 to his computer. And I said, look, bud, here you go. You can play Fallout now. He started playing it. Dude, he doesn't even play Minecraft anymore.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is his favorite game of all time. He's like, nope, I want to play Fallout. Fallout is so amazing. He's like, and I'm like, thank you. This is what I'm telling you. There's so many other games out there besides just Minecraft.
I've never played Fallout.
Oh my
at all.
God, dude! Fallout
should I check it out?
So good.
They're fun. They're not my style of game. I'm not a big fan. I mean, they're good. I will give them, but it's just not. It's not for me.
Right. I was just thinking though when you mentioned 76, one of the games that I used to like playing. Well, two of them, Redneck Rampage, and the other one is Interstate 76, which was kind of like the Mod Squad. You're driving around in a car. It was a lot of fun. That one was a good game too.
The reason they call this one Fallout 76 is because it's supposed to be that you're in Vault 76. That's what it means. All
right, I want to find out a little bit about the problem you've been having with your HP Omen, which is a pretty high end HP computer, a laptop.
I just got this computer like 6 months ago. It's a very high end laptop. It's got the AMD Ryzen 9. It's got 32 gigs of RAM. It's got the RTX 5070 graphics card. I mean, this thing is a beast. And it's been great for me this whole time. And I've never really been an HP fan. All of a sudden, this last Saturday, I go to get my laptop at night. It's in my bag. I grab it out to go do something. And the computer is just slow as molasses to boot up. Like I finally get to the login screen where I can log into Windows, and then the screen goes blank, and I can barely move my mouse. When I move my mouse, it's like one frame a second.
I hate that,
where the mouse is like it kind of jumps around the screen 1 frame a second, and then there's no Windows Explorer at the bottom. Like you got the Windows button and all the pinned icons. Nothing was at the bottom, and it took about 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden, everything just got really smooth. And I was like, okay, think about this from an IT perspective. What causes this kind of thing to happen? And I'm thinking, okay, it's got to be a bad SSD because everything is being loaded into RAM.
Right.
And once it gets loaded into RAM, it's all nice and smooth. So I downloaded the HP Diagnostics tool. I ran it within Windows. I even ran it with UEFI. Like before Windows boots, I ran all the tests. Everything passed with flying colors. And I'm like, okay, fine. So then I went and I ran check disk.
Right.
And I did check disk /C/F or whatever the commands are. It took about 35 minutes. It scanned my entire terabit hard drive. It said everything was fine. Then I'm like, okay, it's still not fixed. What is going on? Why is this so slow? I went to Windows Update, and I noticed a couple updates, but they weren't installed right around that same time. They were installed a couple days earlier. But I was like, okay, well, that doesn't make any sense. But I went, you know what? I'm just going to uninstall the last 3 updates that Windows made.
Right.
I uninstalled those 3 updates. I rebooted the computer. Bam. Everything is back again.
So it's a Microsoft update that did it.
One more time, it's Microsoft's fault.
Wow.
They released a faulty... Dude, Microsoft is getting really bad. Like, they've been releasing updates lately that have just been bricking computers.
Yeah, and it's the SSD one, and Microsoft said, no, that didn't really happen. Other people are saying, no, we had this issue where it was wiping out an SSD.
Hold on, we can't talk bad about Microsoft. We might get canceled.
Oh, gosh.
You can't talk about how to bypass Windows local logins either anymore because you might get booted from YouTube.
What? Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're talking about the issues with Microsoft, and the content creators on YouTube have been getting videos removed that have been talking about how to bypass local logins for Windows 11.
Wow.
We've talked about it on the show before, so I just know that they're really cracking down on anything
like Rufus, with pulling videos that talked about Rufus? Really?
Yep.
Wow. Amazing. All right, we're going to take another quick break. We come back with more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd.
And I'm Justin Lemme. Find us on the Facebooks at /Tech Talkers. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
I don't want to buy just the absolute primo system out today. That usually wastes money. So I'll be doing some digital photography, maybe some video editing. Don't do any gaming at all, so I don't have that demand on the computer. I was wondering what you guys would suggest, either in brands or just in general speed, and where do you go to get the maximum bang for the buck right now?
Sounds like you want a Mac.
So, websites of the week. Cool websites. We found a couple. I know we normally don't do this because we never find any cool websites, but I found one that's kind of cool. It's a Pong-style clock.
Wait, Pong, like in the game Pong?
Yeah, like the game where you're basically it's a clock, but you're watching 2 computer characters just play Pong, but it keeps up with the time. And so the website is bigjobby.com, bigjobby.com/Pong. And you can actually just watch these 2 little AI things, and they just bounce the thing back and forth, and eventually, when the minute is up, one of them loses, and then the minute goes to the next minute, and then it just kind of repeats.
So it's just like watching sports.
Yep, pretty much.
Perfect. Okay, so the website to get to that is bigjobby, JOBBY.com/Pong. Have some fun with that one. Shawn?
And so we've been talking a lot about classic games. So there, if you want to, 2 places you can go that I know of off the top of my head: Internet Archive.
Oh yeah.
And ClassicReload.com will allow you to play DOS games in your browser. DOSBox is a great application if you want DOS games.
What was that? Classic Reload?
ClassicReload.com.
All right.
So go there, check those out. But
Whoa.
During the break, we were talking about being distracted on the internet. With the TV Garden website, you can stream the NASA ISS TV, which is just basically like a live stream of the ISS flying over
where's
the Earth.
that one on TV Garden?
It's just scroll down, you'll see NASA TV.
Huh.
I've got that. I had that full screened up, and I was just mesmerized, just staring at it.
Yeah,
watching it go by.
A little more visual than 3D Pong or Pong clock.
Yeah, so the TV Garden stuff is just incredible. We talked about it a while back on the show. Another one of my favorite. If we're talking about TV, we're talking about Radio Garden. WebSDR.org is for ham radio people.
Oh, yes.
We've talked about that one. We talked about it when we talked about TV Garden 2 weeks ago. WebSDR.org. If you're into ham radio at all,
right, I
encourage you to go check that out. Tune in your local net, or tune in a net around the world. It's incredible.
All right, I got one. We talked about background remove.bg last week, where you can remove the background out of a photo. Here's another one, cleanup.pictures. Cleanup.pictures, and it's online image editing. So if you're looking for, you just want to remove somebody out of a picture real quick, I wouldn't say use this all the time, but if you're looking for something real quick, you want to test it out, play around, cleanup.pictures might work for you. All right, that's it for this week's Tech Talk Radio. Thanks for tuning in. If you have questions, comments, we'd love to hear from you. Again, we're on YouTube, so you can send us a comment there, TikTok, of course, Facebook, X, wherever you want to reach out to us. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd.
And I'm Justin Lemme. Have yourselves a great week. We'll see you next time.